Cheers.
You've stumbled on into the Tap Takeover podcast.
That's right.
Welcome to the Tap Takeover podcast Festival Series. And we are here at Eagle Park Brewing with Jackson from Eagle Park and Mike from Mikerphone. What up, guys?
What up, what up?
Hello.
So, fitting that your last collaboration for Joint Beer Fest is with Mr. Collaboration, Mr. Michael Pallen. So why don't you tell us, our listeners, what you guys are brewing up and how Mike won the little contest for the highest Play-Doh here.
Oh boy.
Boom, there it is.
It's on record. Well, we, like everyone, we kind of kicked it back and forth, and we wanted to brew a stout with Mike, and kind of came on the conclusion of doing like a kind of a Ben & Jerry's inspired beer. And it's a imperial stout with banana, walnuts, chocolate, and vanilla with milk sugar.
And milk sugar. That's sexy milk sugar these days.
So how tough is that to incorporate all those flavors into one gigantic stout?
I mean, I think as we continue to do these pastry stouts, we kind of sit back and look at what is the main ingredients of the thing we're trying to achieve, right? Is it a pie? Is it a cake? Is it ice cream? Is it a whatever dessert it is? We try to break that down as best we can, and we have our base stout recipe that we use, and this one was fairly close to what we do back home at Mikerphone. We just kind of went and added what's the main piece of this Ben & Jerry's ice cream that we wanted to get out of it. Obviously, banana's a big part of it. Walnut's a big part of it. And then with any ice cream, it's either, there's going to be milk, sugar, vanilla, and then we just wanted, because it's a stout, we wanted to add the chocolate in there. So I think, once we kind of get deeper into it, we're adding stage by stage. We're adding the walnut right now. We're adding the banana next week. Vanilla comes on the back end. You just kind of you go from there, and you kind of figure it out. We've got, extra ingredients if we need more, and kind of play it to taste. And we kind of both know what we want to look for and achieve on this. And obviously in the game of making stouts, especially adjunct stouts nowadays, you want to give your taste buds everything that's listed on there. So you want to give it that big banana and big vanilla and really achieve that as best we can.
Blending has become an art form and not just like sour beer. It's become big and kind of cool. I mean, you learn really fast what you're looking for and how to really blend it to the appropriate levels and understanding not just your palate, but understanding what everyone else is looking for as well. So
I know something we were talking about earlier today. It's, even though we have all these ingredients listed, some of them are more prominent than other ones. In this beer, if you drink or if you eat the Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey ice cream, you're going for mainly the nuts and the banana. Vanilla is an ingredient that kind of melds together to bring that kind of ice cream concept to life. It may not be the prominent ingredient, but it's definitely a key piece to making an ice cream inspired stout.
Awesome. So for Jackson, how is it, most of these collaborations have been in-house, right? Mm-hmm. How has it maneuvering around your capacity and your tank space with having all this beer sitting in tanks here, yet still supplying your tap room? And I mean, you just announced another can release this weekend. How difficult has that been schedule-wise?
Really difficult. Yeah, 7 of our 10 fermenters are full of Joint Fest beer, and pretty much all of that beer will be gone that day. So it has definitely put a strain on our what we have for draft and cans and leading up to it, and I would imagine probably a couple weeks after, it's definitely going to be an adjustment period. We're just going to keep cranking away and hope we can keep the lines full.
We went through a similar issue when we did all the collabs during FOBAB. Had cleaned the tanks open, had when people came into town, brew. I think we did 8 different beers in that short week. And it killed us. It really did, because we had a week of no releases. Then we had a week or 2 of non-stop releases, and then we had no beer of ours on draft.
Yeah, and that's still
so it's hard to kind of balance that out. But in a unique concept of this fest and what that FOBAB thing was all about, it's fun to bring your friends together and make some cool beer, and especially the limitations that a Wisconsin brewery has, where they can't have guest beer on tap. They had to go out and be creative and bring people in house to make the beers here to be able to serve them during the fest. Sure. So that's it's an interesting concept and a good workaround for sure to be able to achieve this fest.
Yeah, next week will be the first week that I don't think we're going to release anything for, I think, the last 9 months. We've released at least 1 beer every week, if not 2 or 3. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how things shape up.
been a hell of a run, though, huh?
Yes, it has. And like he said, it's so much fun bringing different people in and having a good time, having some beers and brewing some really good stuff. And then what's really cool about this festival is because it's a collaboration fest, we get to celebrate it. We get to all come together on 420 and drink the fruits of our labor and just have a really good time.
Right, and then a week later, you're right down to Mikerphone for Smells Like a Beer Fest.
Yeah. Yes. And we're so excited for this event on 420, but I think for us, his event will be like our sigh of relief, and now we can just have a freaking blast. So.
Yeah, that's where I am. I can't wait till 428, the day after our festival. It's like,
Right?
because these things, they take a lot of planning and coordination, and it's months upon months. I equate it to a wedding. When you're having, for our case, we're having 70 different breweries there. You got to coordinate hotel rooms and transportation and distribution and licensing, and all that stuff just takes time and adds up. And we throw the component on there of doing the raffle. And this year we went big and hard to get as many raffle prizes as we could. So we had my tasting room guy Nick is reaching out to the Cubs and the Blackhawks and the Metro and all these places to get some cool stuff that we can raffle off. And it takes a lot of time, and you just hope the day is executed flawlessly. Weather is something out of our control, but you just keep your fingers crossed that end of April in the Midwest here is okay for us. And we just hope that everyone leaves happy and safe, and at the end of the day it's a great event. And then the next day after, we're like, cool, we did it, let's get ready to play next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you can get the Eagle Park guys to get up there and jam with School of Rock.
Oh boy.
Hey. Honestly, last year we had my brewer Pete got up there and grabbed the mic and did a little freestyle rapping, which he does. But yeah, you guys should bring the gear, man. And hey, the band needs a break, so you guys could be that filler. That'd be awesome.
There you go.
So, to kind of wrap up this little promo episode, I'm going to throw it back to the first one, but to Mike, as we talked about in the first promo episode about in the Midwest, we've never really heard of a festival being just strictly a joint collaboration festival. I mean, all your travels across the nation and across the world, literally, have you ever been a part of anything like that before or seen it anywhere else?
No, I think it's a unique concept. I think it's again, it was a great way for them to be able to throw this fest and have other beer on tap that's traditionally not theirs. But yeah, I haven't seen anything that's like that. I mean, when we did the WeldWorks Fest last summer, we went out there and every participating brewery joined together to make a beer. So it was like 35 breweries collaborating on one beer, which is kind of a fun, we're all there in town, let's all get together. And we spent the month before that writing the recipe, but no one's ever done a festival that's all collabs. But I love the idea. And I mean, we were talking earlier about the whole idea of what does a collab mean nowadays, and what does it do for the brand, and what does it do for the beers. And I think as we continue to go on, the brewing part of it's kind of monotonous. It is what it is. We all know how to brew. We all go through the process of writing the recipe ahead of time. You come in and brew that day, but there's a lot of downtime. I think the value of collaborations is on that release day, and this fest is that. It's going to be all of us here who made those beers those week or a couple weeks beforehand, all here actually trying our fruits of our hard work and then celebrating together. So I think that's where the beauty in the collaborations lies, is getting us back together to kind of promote and celebrate the beer we made.
Well, it's got to be a great way to talk shop and say how did you guys do this with your beer too, and just learn a lot from each other.
Well, that's my favorite part about doing a collab is just kind of getting to know these brewers from different areas. I mean, Chicago market's incredibly different from Milwaukee, and getting to know Jared and learning from Southern Grist and learning about Nashville and the things that they have to deal with, and then talking to Rob up at Dangerous Man and him talking about how they can't serve anything less than or anything more than 25 ounces out of their tap room is like crazy. And then learning how they get around that to really push beer, and learning what the consumer wants there, it's only going to better ourselves and be able to take all that knowledge to form how we operate here at Eagle Park is like a really cool thing for us. So. And I'm sure it's the same with you and everywhere else you've been. I mean, you've reached the whole country pretty much, so we're just Midwest.
Well, thanks a lot for your time, guys. We appreciate it. We can't wait to bring you more from the actual festival. And this has been another solid non-fail production. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.